Beginning transmission.
This is the audio log of Dr. Cool, O5 Council member, as well as Supreme Commander of Task Force Alpha 1, also known as the Red Right Hand. Hello everyone. Today I will be doing one of our more requested audio files, and is also in the voting poll for the month of September. So you all have flooded my inbox requesting for me to read this SCP, and I have obliged. I will warn you that it will be a long read, so if you wish to pause the video now and get some snacks or drink, you are more than welcome to. But let us get into our file for today. Item number SCP-939, Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-939-1, 3, 19, 53, 89, 96, 98, 99, and 109 are kept in his cell 1163-A or 1163-B, 10 meters times 10 meters times 3 meters containment chambers within armed biocontainment area 14. Both cells are environmentally regulated and negatively pressurized, with walls constructed of reinforced concrete. Access to these cells is regulated by an outer decontamination chamber and inner gas-tight steel security doors. Observation windows are constructed of laminated ballistics glass, 10 centimeters in thickness, protected by a 100 kV electrified mesh. Humidity is maintained at 100% at a temperature of 16 Celsius. Specimens are monitored at all times via infrared cameras. Level 4 authorization is required to access SCP-939, the containment areas or the observation chambers. SCP-939-101 is dismembered, stored, cryogenic preservation tanks 939-101A to 939-101M within Bioresearch Area 12. Access to SCP-939-101 requires authorization by 2 Clearance Level 3 personnel, one of which must be present for all research and testing. The contents of only one 939-101 tank may be accessed at any given time. Core temperature of SCP-939-101 tissues may be monitored while recovered from cryogenic preservation. Should core temperature exceed 10 Celsius, tissues are to be returned to their corresponding tank and all testing suspended for a period of 72 hours. Bearing core temperature exceeding 10 Celsius, research of SCP-939-101 tissues may continue as long as its ramblings and pleas for release may be tolerated. Containment cells should be cleaned bi-weekly. While this takes place, SCP-939 specimens will be transferred to the adjacent cell. During this time, the cell's door and observation window must be inspected for damage and repaired or replaced accordingly. Heavy sedation of all SCP-939 is required before any interaction, including transfer between cells and experimentation, may take place. See document number 939-TE4 for transfer and experimentation protocol. Level C hazmat gear is to be worn by personnel during interactions with SCP-939 specimens, and in any areas which SCP-939 have been known to inhabit. Afterwards, standard decontamination procedure ought to be observed by all personnel involved to ensure no secondary spread of anesthetic agents occurs. Following incident ABCA 14-939-3, all non-D-Class personnel interacting with SCP-939 for any lengths of time are required to wear 2 waterproof electronic pulse monitors for the duration of such interaction. These pulse monitors will transfer to a wireless monitoring system independent of the facility's main power grid, with at least one backup power system on standby. Should both an individual's pulse monitors flatline or otherwise malfunction, the wearer will be presumed dead. Personnel instructed to disregard all aware of subsequent vocalizations, and a breach of containment declared automatically. Security personnel responding to such a breach are likely also required to wear these pulse monitors. Additionally, all live SCP-939 subjects must be implanted with subthermal tracking devices upon capture. Description: SCP-939 are endothermic pack-based predators which display autotropy or various systems similar to troglodytic organisms. The skins of SCP-939 are highly permeable to moisture and translucent red, owing to a compound chemically similar to hemoglobin. SCP-939's average 2.2 meters tall, standing upright, and weigh an average of 200 kilograms, though weight is highly variable. Each of their forelimbs end in three-fingered claws with a fourth opposite digit, and are covered in sedate, which considerably augment climbing ability. Their heads are elongated, devoid of even vestigial eyes or eye sockets, and contain no brain casing. The jaws of SCP-939 are lined with red, faintly luminescent fang-like teeth, similar to those belonging to specimens of the genus Colodus, up to 6 centimeters in length and encircled by heat-sensitive pit organs. Eye spots sensitive to light and dark run the length of their spine dorsal ridges. These spines may be up to 16 centimeters long and are believed to be sensitive to changes in air pressure and flow. SCP-939 does not possess any vital organ systems, central and peripheral nervous systems, circulatory system, and digestive tract are all absent. SCP-939's respiratory system atrophied and serves no apparent purpose beyond spreading AMN-C227. See below. SCP-939 has no apparent psychological need to feed, nor any way to digest consumed tissue. Ingested material typically accumulates in the respiratory system of SCP-939, and is regurgitated once the amount is sufficient to markedly inhibit its function. Despite the absence of many vital organ systems, SCP-939 are capable of bearing live young. See Addendum 10-16-1991. SCP-939's primary method of luring prey is the imitation of human speech in the voices of prior victims. Though imitation of other species and active nocturnal hunts have been documented, SCP-939 vocalizations often imply significant distress. Whether SCP-939 understand their vocalizations or are repeating previously heard phrases is the subject of ongoing study. How SCP-939 acquire voices is not currently understood. Specimens have been documented imitating victims despite never hearing the victims speak. Analysis of SCP-939's vocalizations cannot distinguish between SCP-939 and samples of known victims' voices. The use of biometric voice recognition security or identification systems at any installation housing SCP-939 is strongly discouraged due to this reason. Prey is usually killed with a single bite to the cranium or neck. Bite forces have been measured in excess of 35 MPa. SCP-939 exhale miniature traces of an aerosoled Class C anesthetic designated AMN-C227. AMN-C227 causes temporary anterograde amnesia, inhibiting memory formation for the duration of exposure, plus an average of 13 minutes. It is colorless, odorless, and tasteless, with an estimated ECT-50 for inhalation of 0.0015 milligrams per minute. In well-ventilated or open-air environments, risk of exposure to ECT-50 is greatly reduced but not negligible. AMN C227 is typically undetected in the bloodstream 60 minutes following cessation of exposure. Reported sensations of disorientation and mild hallucinations immediately follow removal from the environment saturated with the agent, all similar to recreational use of numerous psychoactive substances and easily mistaken as such. Now, for these notes and addendums, I will be adding them to a different audio file. There's just too much information in this one file to put them all in, unfortunately. However, once I get the files ready, as well as their information, I will put them in another video format for you all. So, anyway, let us just read these basic ones. Oh, and by the way, some have been omitted, and some have also been restructured, so there will be slight changes. Note 03-23-2005. This report permits to Morphology Alpha for information regarding Morphology Beta. See Experiment Log 914 AMTF New 7 After Action Report. Addendum 11-14-1981. A log of radio traffic between capture teams during initial containment of SCP-939 is available. However, that will be available in a different video format. Addendum 06-291987. Preliminary research into AMN-C227 suggests potential for use as a general-purpose anesthetic. Methods of mass-producing the agent, as well as possible adverse effects, are being investigated at Biocontainment Research Site Number 6. Addendum 09-20-1991. Containment of 9 SCP-939 specimens have been comprised following a Silent Night breach scenario at Biocontainment Research Site Number 6. Nearby civilian settlements have been evacuated on the pretense of a coming storm. Recovery teams have been deployed to the area. Addendum 10-16-1991. In light of this, all interaction with SCP-939 from September 8th to October 7th in the Northern Hemisphere, or March 6th to April 4th in the Southern Hemisphere, is strictly forbidden. No male specimens of SCP-939 have yet been identified to contain a Class B anesthetic. See reproduction of SCP-939, which will also be in a different format, video format. And finally, Addendum 02-20-1992. Effective immediately, use of AMN-C227 as an anesthetic is suspended indefinitely. Consult Incident Report AMN-C227-939 for further information. Alright, well, that is the audio file for today. You can see why I was a little bit hesitant at it at first. It's a pretty long one, but I am willing to do those long SCP readings for you. Please understand that it will take me a little bit of time to get this file all together. However, once it is out, you can use the knowledge to study this SCP. But, anyway, thank you so much for your voting request for this SCP. I will definitely hop on to the other SCP files that I can. Also, you can see why this SCP file is quite a long one. It is one of our most documented SCP Keter classes here in the Foundation, which some of the information, if not the majority, is compiled by moi, being the top researcher of Keter's studies after all. But anyway, this is Dr. Cool, O5 Command, signing out.